Hi everyone, I have been sent this colouring book by the author, actually, well the illustrator shall we say, to show you a flip through and to review. I firstly like to talk about the cover a little bit. It is A4 size, which is I think, it seems to be anyway. I've got some A4 paper somewhere I could put it against. Hang on. There's a piece of A4 laminate sheet, and it's slightly smaller actually than A4, if you can see. It's a bit hard. Let me find a piece of paper. You will be able to see then. So the paper covers it entirely. Nice dirty piece of paper. So it's almost A4 size. I can measure it for those of you that don't know what A4 actually means, just so that we can clarify. So we'll do it in inches. It is 11 by 8.5, something like that. I think that's quite a standard American letter size, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so it is a book of mandalas. Now normally when people ask me if I want a book like this to review, I say no, I don't really colour these. But I have started doing some because I got a free mandala book with some pencils that someone very kindly bought for me. So I did a little review and I looked at them and I didn't really, and then I've done a few, and actually I'm really starting to find them really quite relaxing and fun. So I said, yeah, let's have a look at this book. So here's the front cover. I can just show you the back cover. It's just got a few of the designs on and the ISBN number at the bottom. Okay, now I think this is an Amazon printed book. It came from America, actually. But we'll have a feel of the paper in a minute. This side is shiny, this side is matte, which is what you would expect in the book. But we've got no title page or anything. We go straight into the design, which is good. Oops. Now, just trying to push it up so you can see the whole design. So as you can see, we've got a little border around. It's very white paper, I would say, but I can see through it a little bit. So it's quite thin. It's printed, it's double-sided printed, and I can see through a little bit to the design on the other side. I don't know how it would stand up to pens, but I will be trying some out. And sorry, we've got the reflection of my cables on there. I will be trying some out and find out. So here is, you can see this design. You've got the main design here and you've got bits of it in the corners, which I find quite fun. I rather like that, but what I like is it's fairly big, so you could probably do some shading and things in there. Now the paper feels quite toothy. Not like it's watercolour paper or anything, but I think it would take some layers of pencil, but obviously it's quite thin. It's like copy paper. For me, that's fine. I don't mind. But I know some people struggle. Now, what's interesting about this page is the designs are really dark. Now, I don't always like lots of really dark black lines in my pictures, but actually I think for people who struggle to see, they could be brilliant. And I'm actually looking at this and I've got some ideas on how I might colour it. So obviously I probably am going to do it, even though saying dark lines. I think we just have to embrace the dark and think about what we could do with it that might stand out. Like I think, you know, you could do lots of vibrant reds or greens or yellows and things like that, and I think it would work. So I rather like that one actually. So here we have another quite dark one and a lighter one. Now so far they're all fairly simple. I mean, there's a lot of going on here, but they seem none of them look daunting to me. They look fun. Obviously that one has a lot less colouring than that one, I think, and this has got little stripes, but you could colour right over that. You wouldn't need to do each stripe, but because of the size of the book, there's still quite a lot of space in there to colour. So yeah, that's okay. Now here we have quite a big design, so there's a lot of big areas to fill there, and some people really like that. Some people like something more intricate, rather more like this side. And each one seems to have this border around, which is quite fun. So you could either draw a picture frame in there, you could just do a block of colour to sort of frame, or you can leave it white. So you've got a bit of an option there, which is nice. Oops, page doesn't want to turn. What have we got here? So this one looks really floral. Again, it's similar to the first one where you've got a little bit of that in each corner, and I rather like that. personally, but you know, it's obviously quite a personal thing. Oh, I'm just going to fiddle with my computer. Sorry, I'm editing a video. It's making a lot of noise, isn't it? I don't know if you can hear the fan. It screams when I edit videos. It gets itself really upset. I mean, this one is slightly cut off at the edges, but I think that's fine. It's all part of it, and an interesting sort of just a floral type design, which I like. And here we have another slightly darker one. So I just think, you know, for anyone that struggles to see small intricate ones like this could be really appealing. And I'm just quite interested in thinking about, it looks a bit like stained glass window to me. And I think filling this with blocks of red and blue, I think it would look really pretty. This one, on the other hand, is very different. It's actually very different to all of the rest. We've got a lot of little swirly details and different bits and pieces. I think that's quite interesting. Now this one isn't so floral either. It's more sort of geometric, and I think that's quite fun. So you've got stripes you can fill in. You could do them all the same, or you could do them different colours. It's fun. And here we have again a more sort of floral design, and we have got this background. So you could choose to pop a background in there, or just leave that white, or just do a frame and leave that white. There's lots of options on that page. Nice. Oops. Now again we have a darker one on this side, but it's more of a floral design, which is quite attractive to me. It looks a bit like one of the succulents in Johanna Basford's World of Flowers. I don't know. Anyway, and this one is again a bit more geometric, got a sort of slightly floral centre, but here we go with lots of different circles and shapes. And again, we've got the same shapes repeated in the corner. So what it means, you can say, I'll do that red, and then I'll do each of these repeating ones the same. So that's quite relaxing. I think you don't have as many colour choices to make. And another one in a similar vein, we've got these circles, which, you know, if you've watched my videos, I love berries. It looks like berries. I want to colour them as berries. Holly and berries, it looks like to me. Anyway, it's just me being mad. So we have another one which is really interesting. So it looks quite floral in the middle, but then we have these sort of fleur-de-lis type patterns around as well. And because these are quite black, you could choose, you could colour over those with a pen, like a paint pen, and they would go coloured, or you can just do a pale colour around them. So you've got different options there, which is quite fun. And here we have a sort of very defined floral here, but around here, are those leaves? I don't know. That might be how I do it. And this one I like, it's got hearts, like the hearts. Okay, we have two quite similar floral patterns with nice petally type textures, but this one being quite bold, and we've got here, looks a bit like petals or leaves. And this one goes out more to, again, as if it's got more layers, as if it's a sort of big lily. I like that. Okay. Then we have another, we seem to have a pattern of dark and light, dark and light. I don't know if that is just me. But here we have what looks like little bow shapes and things. So that's, we've got quite a few new shapes in that one, so that's quite interesting. And this one again, a bit more geometric, lots of circles, like berries again. And here we have one again with circles, it looks like berries. That's quite fun. We've got a darker one on this side this time, so it's proving me wrong. So this one's quite pale and floral. This one also looks floral, but got quite a defined pattern. But that's quite fun. It looks a little bit different to the others. I like that they're not really samey. We get different types of things to play with. This one looks really Christmas decoration-y to me. These look like baubles. I don't know, maybe it's just me, I think, and the sort of Christmas tree star, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if she's supposed to make things out of mandalas or if they're just supposed to be random patterns, but I sort of do. This is a great big water lily on a lily pad. It's pretty. I'm sorry, by the way, the whole of the book isn't in shot. I just could not get my tripod any taller without masses of fiddling and faddling, and I decided, as it was a mandala book, you didn't need to see every single corner and detail because it's a sort of repeated patterns. So this one is quite, I can't make a pattern out of that, that's a shame. I can't work out what it is, it's just a pattern, it's pretty. And this one being more intricate, and we have a lot of black shapes again in this one, so that's something to really get you thinking, which I like. And what I was thinking is, you know, we've got a lot of black here, but if you didn't want to do it as if it was a stained glass window or something, you could get your paint pens or gel pens and do dots on them, like in white or fluorescent colours or something, to sort of make a different pattern out of the lines. That would be quite fun. This one looks a bit paisley-like to me. I think purples and bluey greens and maybe some orange or browns would be quite fun for that page. We do have circles again. Of course, I'm going to berries, and again we have circles on this one. This one's quite pretty and floral. You know, I would probably do that as if it's a giant flower, and then you've got those flowers there, and do those like their leaves or something. And this one, we've got one that's similar to this earlier on, with sort of swirly bits and bobs. I think that's quite fun. It's a bit different again. And again, this one looks a bit Christmassy to me, because we've got this sort of starry shapes. I think that's quite fun. And it could be like little pine leaves, and then, I don't know, anyway, reds and golds. It would be quite fun. And we have a sort of more floral one here, and actually a mix of very dark and very light. So that's quite interesting. I might have to work hard to make this stand out from these black lines. I think that will be a fun challenge. Oh, my computer's got an error. Oh dear. Never mind. I was trying to read off the camera that I'm using to record. That's why. Never mind. So this one's more geometric. I can see a few leaf type shapes, but I think it's just more sort of random, which is fun. And this one again looks like a lovely flower. We've got a lot in this book, haven't we? Lots to colour. Here we have a double page of lighter print, less heavy. So again, these look like quite floral designs, but they're very different to each other. This one's got lots of fine detail stripes in, whereas this one's got larger areas. And I think that's really nice to have that mix. Because sometimes you're in the mood for doing something more intricate, or you might be getting your fine liners out and want to do something finer. Again, I don't know if they would bleed through on this paper. I've never tried them, pens on Amazon paper. So I will have to experiment a little bit. So again, this one is more of an intricate design. And this one, again, this one is quite intricate, but we've got big, it's really large areas here and quite intricate dark bits here. I think that's really interesting. Oh, it looks quite starry. I'm sure it's a flower, and that's quite fun. And this one is really different with these interesting shapes, which we haven't had before. So that's quite fun. To me, that looks like something you might hang in your window to let the sun shine through. I'm sure there's a name, but it's not coming to me. And we have another sort of one that looks like leaves to me. That's nice. And then a sort of more starry one. And we've got things drawn on here, these sort of leafy type looking items. It's interesting. Well, that's nice. It looks like a lily to me. But then we've got all these layers coming. I think trying to make this all three-dimensional would be quite fun, putting some shadow underneath each of these little petally looking bits and trying to make it look like it was all stacked up on top of each other. That would be fabulous fun. I don't know if I could manage that, but I would certainly give it a go. And then we have one, it's quite similar, not really, it's not similar at all. It's similar in that it looks like it's stacked up, but it's circular and more geometric. And a lot more detail too. So what have we got here? Another sort of more geometric type shape. They all look now to me like they're stacked up bits on top of each other. I think it's just because I've started thinking of it as my brain's just making them all look like that. This one we've got lots of circles again, potential for berries. Get too excited. So now we have a more simplistic one, which is quite dark and bold and large shapes. I think that's quite interesting. And this one, again, I like you've got little stars around here, which is quite fun, and some different types of shapes actually. That one's quite different to any of the others. That's rather fun. And this one's quite floral, looks like a flower with lots of leaves. But we've got this sort of background bit. You have to try and decide what to do in there. So that's quite interesting. And again, a floral, we've got hearts this time. I do like hearts. And hearts around there as well, so that's really interesting. I'm not sure how many pages this has, but it seems to be a lot to me. Oh, that's a pair. Look, they're the same. Identical. Can you imagine sitting with your spouse, daughter, granddaughter and doing a buddy colour? You could do one page each. That'd be great fun, wouldn't it? Or one of you do it and give the book to the other. Actually, they're not identical. look, the centre's the same, but as we move out, that's the same, but then look, this bit's different. It's a bit different. It gets different as you go out. Oops, sorry. So not identical. You can still have fun with that. And here we have another set which looks similar, but actually not really. So both floral sort of designs, but and both with a bit of it in the corners too, which I rather like the idea of that. And two slightly darker ones here. This one again looks quite star-like. I think that's quite fun. But then we've got these sort of petally looking bits, and this one has got quite a lot of black detail on it again. So I'm going to have a good old think about how to deal with a page with lots of black. I think it's really interesting and challenging, so that's fun. And then we have our last page, which is another sort of starish type one. But what is great is in the back here we actually have 2 blank pages, and that means that we can do all sorts of testing of pens and different things on this back page, which is exactly what I'm going to use it as a colour test page. So what I will do, how long have we been? I could do that now. I'm going to put a piece of laminate behind the page, just because to protect the page underneath. I don't want it bleeding through and making a big mess. And I'm going to try a few pens. I have, what do I have? I have a fine liner, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, can you see? Yeah, 1 layer, like that. 2 layers. 3 layers. So there's our fine liner. I'm not going to show you yet. I'm going to try a few other things. I have a glitter, a Uniball Signo glitter pen. It's going to get glitter everywhere. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. A Posca pen. Let's do a black one, because that's going to do the most damage, isn't it? Oh. Let's not shake it out without the lid on. Big mistake. There we go. There's a bit of black. I'm unlikely to use a black pen, but it's a good test, isn't it? Here is a black Staedtler felt tip pen. There we go. What else should we try? What else have I got? I think that'll do. Okay, ready for the reveal? There you go. Now, if I press down, you can see that you get a little bit of ghosting from all of those, but you also get ghosting from the picture, which is here underneath. So they show through a little bit. I can actually see the colours of them through. So I would say we'd probably be better off using pencil, or getting 2 copies and doing one side only. But once you've coloured the other side, maybe it disappears, you know. So anyway, that's quite interesting. So I think actually, as it's drying, it seems to not be showing up quite as much as it was. So I think if you coloured one page in pen and then coloured the other side in pen as well, you wouldn't really see it. It just depends. But I think you wouldn't want to do, because with the red, I did lots of layers, and I can't really see much difference between those layers actually. So you could do 3. It hasn't bled through at all. It's just ghosting that I can see. So really, that's important. I think if you're used to using pens, you might be used to ghosting on your page. But anyway, there is our book. I'm going to be probably colouring it in pencil anyway. So, you know, that'll be me. But I'm looking forward to having a go. And what I should probably do is have a go on camera, if you want me to, and do a tutorial. I probably will anyway. Maybe talk. You know, I was talking about that sort of having them looking like they're stacked on top of each other. I might have a go at that on camera. That'd be a bit scary, won't it? So I've said it now, so I'm going to have to do it. So there we go. There's my new book. So that's quite fun. I'm looking forward to having a play with that. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do have other flip throughs of lots of other books if you are looking for something to colour, and this, you know, and you just want to look for lots of things and get lots of things, and I do have other ones as well. There'll be a link in the description to my playlist of flip through and reviews. So there we go. But again, thank you very much for watching, and happy colouring.